Today we're going to talk about Taiwan and Japan. So, do Chinese people hate Japan? Or do Chinese people hate Taiwan? And how Chinese people actually think about these two places? The answer is pretty simple. Like, Chinese people love both Taiwan and Japan. I'm not talking about the old generation, like in their 70s or 80s, they might have a different opinion, but as far as I know, like for my generation, somebody who is in their 20s or like in their 30s, we definitely love both Taiwan and Japan. And a lot of you would think like, oh, Chinese people would have a problem with Japan just because the World War II, Japan invaded China. But, and also Taiwan is like, I don't know, because their government is kind of like the governments don't really like each other, and there's a lot of weird like political uh, conflicts going on between Beijing and Taipei. But in general, like Chinese people love both of these two places. And for Japan specifically, I would say a lot of Chinese people would like to go visit Japan, and it's kind of like the top tourist destination for the Chinese teenagers. And most of my friends have been to Japan and they love it. Even my grandparents have been to Japan, and it was a very mind blowing trip for them, I have to say. And they started to like Japan after that trip, even though they actually they were born before World War II, and so they actually lived through the era under Japanese occupation. But anyway, for Taiwan is another. For Taiwan is a different story, I think. And I would say a lot of Chinese people would consider Taiwan as a part of Chinese cultural sphere, but it's a different region, and they don't really want to like talk about the legitimacy and the logistics, but they would not necessarily agree with the statement that Taiwan is not part of China. But there are a lot of people they will be really interested in Taiwanese culture back in like the 1990s and the early 2000s. We, like our generation, literally grew up listening to like the Taiwanese pop songs and watching Taiwanese movie. That's my generation, and so I feel like we're deeply connected. We speak the same language, and we share the same culture, even though like well, probably a Taiwanese person would say something in a different way because they think they have a little bit of everything. They have the Chinese side, but they also have the Japanese side, and they consider themselves as a island that is located in Southeast Asia, so they have their Southeast Asian side. But for Chinese, from a Chinese mainlander's perspective, I would say we consider Taiwan as a part of a Chinese culture sphere. And so now the situation gets really tricky because apparently these two governments they don't really like each other. So and well, like Chinese government actually offers Taiwanese people visa to live and work in China freely. Like you can, it's kind of like a residence permit. You can just apply and get it, and you can move to China and live and study, and probably you do whatever you want, buy properties, do business, yeah. But it's not vice versa though. Like as a Chinese person, it's just really hard to move to Taiwan to like start a business or like work. It's just nearly impossible. And but at this point, I would say it's also really sad because the status quo is the best situation that we can have at this point, and I don't think any Taiwanese government should, whether it's like any administration, should actually try to change this status quo, whether for whatever reason. And so let's see what's gonna happen like after this Taiwanese election and stuff. And I hope there's gonna be a leader in Taiwan who is like more uh, pro Beijing in a sense that they can actually figure out something better for both people. That's what I'm gonna say about Taiwan, China, and Japan.